Salad dressings are very hard, thing to find in really low fat, so a lot of people make their own. For instance, looking for some of this Hammond's range here, honey mustard comes in at 23.5, and these, so the lowest fat one I found is actually a Shufersal own brand vinaigrette and mustard. 16.6 grams of fat for 100 grams. Obviously not low fat, but it's the best I've seen here in the supermarket, and it's Shufersal's own brand. Goes without saying that most ice cream is not good for you and high fat, but if you look in the sorbet aisle, you can get some stuff that is low. Again, this is not health food, but if you want to just have some snacks. So this is watermelon, Nestle product, and it is 0% fat. I'm at the loose cheese ordering counter in Shufersal now, so you can see, and this kind of percent's pretty easy to find for stuff like feta and Bulgari, but there's also 20 and 30%, but I haven't found really lower than 5 that easily anywhere at all. And in Labna also it kind of tends to come in like more like 15 and 30, but you will find a 5% if you look hard enough at the labels. If you wanted that vegan does not necessarily equal low fat or even health food, then check through the health food products aisle of any supermarket. This is Shufersal here in Jerusalem. For instance, Texas barbecue, right? This is Teva Deli. Israel does vegan food really, really well. But look at the fat content. If I can just find the nutritional label, I bet you it's not all that low. So this one is, if I can see it, yeah, 11.3 isn't actually that bad, but it's, you know, definitely not low fat. So you can't assume, again, I've made this point so many times over, that just because something is vegan or vegetarian or supposedly healthy, that it's low fat. So this one is 9.3. The lowest one I found here is actually this kind of mushroom burger product. So in terms of salat team in Israel, as I said, hummus is unfortunately rarely falls into the low fat category. This hummus is 10.7 grams of fat. Surprise low fat star I found is actually this kind of tomato salad, what we call here in Israel batbucha, or also salad turkey. So if you see here, it's 2.7 grams of fat, so that's actually pretty low fat, and the hummus is much more like in the region of 24. So again, it's a case of learning all these things, learning what tends to be fat, low fat, and then just kind of proceeding from there. I'm in the dairy aisle here in Rami Levi, and these are the various yogurt options we have here in Israel. As I mentioned before, dairy is generally kind of expensive, but you still have some fairly decent. You can see this Danone here, 1.7%. Akima, they've got a few things like this. So if you're looking for low fat dairy, it can be procured. They've got this 1.5% yogurt. They sell also multi-packs of 1.5% yogurt. They also sell fat-free yogurt, 0% fat. In terms of cottage cheese, so you have here cottage cheese is ranked according to the fat level. So this is 1% is as low as it goes. 3, 5, as I've said before, technically 3% is the max for low fat, but you can see there's these 1.5% yogurts here, so those should be fairly decent. What other options are there? So Bulgarit is really good. I haven't seen a Bulgarit lower than 5%, but you can see how much it varies. This is 16% Bulgarit. This is Bulgarit that's 5%, and it goes up to 24%. So 5% for certain cheeses is about the lowest I've seen so far in Israel. Here's a surprising one. Goat's cheese. This is a new product from Tenuva, yogurt izim. I would have assumed goat's cheese was fatty. Incorrect. Look at the nutritional label. It's actually 3.5 grams of fat per 100, so tiny fraction out of the low fat territory. There's also Gavina Levana, which is kind of its own thing, not quite the same, not the same as Labna. Speaking of Labna, Gavina Levana, let's see where the Labna is located here. Next option, Labna. So this is Labna I've mentioned before, is really good. It's like made from yogurt, and but you can see again the fat percentage is very widely. This is 5%. Labna Galilit from the Galil, 11%, and we can probably find 5. Yeah, we can find 5% pretty easily. There's 5% Labna here. So that's Labna. Those are the Labna options. You can find 5% in this Gavina Labana stuff, which is close. There's actually 3%, and I think there's 0.9% in this one too. This is like one of the best dairy sections I've ever seen, which is why I'm making the video here. Rami Levi in Kiryat Shmone. Yogurts are pretty decent for low fat options. You can see well, I've just gone into the cream cheese section now, but 1.2, 0%. Let's just wrap this up. We might as well do it here. Okay, so here we have the yogurt. You can see 1.7% and Actimol as well, and light and fat free. I missed out on a few yogurt options, so I came back just for this. So Rami Levi have their brand of yogurt, it looks like, and I found a 0% option. There's also 10% and 5%, but plain unflavored and flavored Greek yogurt. So here's another Greek yogurt that's 5%. So within Greek yogurt you can find 0%. Here we go. Here's another 0%. Same one. So yeah, Greek yogurt also is a good thing to stock up on. You can get that at 0% fat pretty easily. So yeah, those are, and then of course within deli meats, turkey is very lean, so I've actually had pretty good success, as I've shown in previous videos, identifying low-fat turkey meats, and they generally list the fat content pretty conspicuously. So if we come over here to some of these guys, you can see this one is 3% fat. This is just a pretty standard deli meat, and you can find 2 and 1% fat as well. So this is only 2% fat. So this is another category, not super healthy of course, but you can find a decent amount of lower fat options within if you keep it to the leaner meats of the deli meats.